Good afternoon from wherever you're joining us. Thank you for keeping it TV47. 2 minutes to the top of the hour, the first date of July, the year being 2024. Thank you for keeping it TV47. It is time to bring you up to speed with the latest and place you ahead of the curve with matters and news. But first, the highlights. The clergy are now calling on the youthful protesters to embrace dialogue to get what they want, even as they resent the Gen Z attacks on the church's role. Dusty streets and stinky garbage bins loom in the horizon for Naro town after street cleaners go on strike of unpaid salaries since January.
Lakini tumevumilia hii miezi yote 5 hatujaipata hata shilingi. Tukiuliza pesa mwingine anafuta. Tukiuliza hivi unafutwa kazi.
And a Kirinyaga woman's search for her lost dairy cattle leads her to the site of a makeshift roadside butchery run by ruthless cattle thieves.
Wenye walikuwa naimba, walikuwa na gari, walikuwa na ichiji hapa, ndio waweke kwa probox waende na hiyo ng'ombe. Lakini wakapatikana, kwa bahati mbaya wakatoroka.
Alright, that is just a sneak peek of what we have in store for you here on TV47 News Now. My name is Moige. Thank you for joining us on this broadcast. Now let us keep you informed. Starting off, amid the wind of political pressure, the clergy has kept raising its voice towards the inconspicuous matter. The Catholic churches under Machakos diocese have banned politicians to address congregants in the churches during church services. Speaking in Tala, Norman Kingo, the Catholic Bishop Machakos Diocese, warned that the Catholic Church will not allow any politician in national and county levels to address any church gathering, but they are welcome to worship and live at their own pleasure. Elsewhere, a section of clerics led by Bishop David Munyeri Tagana, the General Secretary of the Federation of Evangelical and Indigenous Christian Churches of Kenya, has castigated what he termed as pitiless police officers for using excessive force during the anti-government protest spearheaded by youth under the umbrella of the Generation Z or Z. Speaking after visiting victims of police brutality at Kenyatta National Hospital, the Ghana regretted that the protesters were unarmed and peaceful when police descended and opened fire on them.
Kuhusu ili jambo linaloendelea, ndio tumekosewa, ndio kuna mambo mengine, na yale walizungumzia juu ya hiyo bill, whatever, the truth be said, people were hungry. Sio vijana tu, hata watu wa kawaida.
He has no 4 fingers. He has a bullet in his. A bullet has been removed from his leg. It is just so saddening. Then I met another one who had just closed his business, a hawker, who was just doing his own work, just closing so that he can go home. Again, he was shot on his leg.
Na hili ni swala ambalo limeisi kusumbua hii nchi kwa miaka mingi sana. Wakati watu wanaingia barabarani, inakuwa ni mtindo ya kwamba risasi, vitoa machozi ambavyo havihitajiki zinatumika kutuliza yale maandamano.
And now, to other news. Following the recent anti-finance bill protest across the country, a section of political leaders have seen themselves miss out on occasions and church ceremonies they attended before, after receiving backlash and critiques from Kenyans across the country on the finance bill of 2024. A section of leaders who attended some of the events were seen not as comfortable as before, with many seats reserved for some prominent politicians left with no one on them. This comes 1 week after a section of members of parliament voted yes on the passing of the Finance Bill 2024, which was opposed by most Kenyans across the country.
We pray to God so that He might return the peace, the togetherness that you had, the unity and love for this country. I know the President has listened to the Gen Zs, who are our youthful generation. We understand as leaders that the biggest problem that we have in this country is oversupply of human resource. In other words, unemployment.
I understand young people, they are frustrated. They are hopeless. and they feel worthless because of not having a coin in their pocket. Yes, we understand the jobs are scarce. The central government, they cannot absorb everybody. So is the county government. Our private sector is not that strong. So my advice to the young people is, let them not lose hope.
All right, a Gen Z will say in relation to that story that ground ni kumoto. So is the case. Now, Busy Bee School and a local church in Mombasa County are demanding the removal of a dump site that is located behind the two institutions, which leaves a rancid garbage smell in the vicinity during garbage collection. The principal of the school, Dorothy Kaimuri, stated that the dump site affects the learners and staff during garbage collection. She continued to add that the school and church efforts to reach the Department of Environment through letters have borne no fruits, as their promises to relocate the dumping site have not been materialized.
We are having a serious problem with the dump site behind the school because it is really affecting the learners, not only the learners but also the staff, and it has been a problem for some time. We've been writing letters to the county and they have been promising to relocate the dumping site, which they haven't done. We feel it will affect the children and even the staff because it's actually a health hazard. We do not understand why they would bring the dump site behind the school.
And this, garbage collection point that is right behind the church and also behind the school has affected us in many ways because every day they collect the garbage. And that's good. It's commendable that they do that. But as they do that, we are left affected.
We have some children who have also been taken to the hospital because they have started having running stomachs. Therefore, we feel it is affecting these children.
Na hii vile tukaja hapa Jumamosi saa 8 na deputy governor akaona, na within 1 week hilo janga la taka litakuwa limeondoshwa hapa shule.
Well, such is the situation in that area. Now, street cleaners in Naro town are on strike over 5-month salary arrears. While speaking to the press, they outlined that the county contractor is answerable, but they have had nothing from him, seeking support from the county governor to intervene on this issue.
Sisi hufanya kazi ya usafi. Na kile kimefika tukachangia kukosa kufanya kazi ni malipo. Malipo imekuwa njia ya kutatanisha. Anayelipa hatumjui. Tumekuwa tukiitisha ile pesa, tunaambiwa subirieni, fanyeni kazi, pesa zitaingia.
Lakini tumevumilia hii miezi yote 5, hatujaipata hata shilingi. Tukiuliza pesa, mwingine anafuta. Tukiuliza hivi, unafutwa kazi. Sasa ndio tunataka kuambia bana gavana, mwenye ako na jukumu ya kutulipa, achukue hii jukumu, atupee kila mtu mpesa yake, tuendelee na kazi.
Kuna siku tulipelekwa Mara, tukafanya kazi Mara. Pesa ya Mara hatukuiona kutoka last year mpaka saa hii hatujaona hiyo pesa ya Mara. Mbona sisi tumekuwa kunyanyaswa, ama sisi tunataka tusaidike ama tunafaa kunyanyaswa? Basi sisi tukenya tunaomba tu governor, pesa zetu ukishatupea sisi hatutakubodha tena.
Okay, now let's get to some more updates on matters anti-finance protest, that is of 2024, whereby Machakos Governor Ovinya Ndeti now says a swarm of hired goons infiltrated last week's anti-finance bill demonstrations that were meant to be peaceful and engaged in looting and destruction of property. Speaking in Mavoko after witnessing the swearing in of 3 chief officers into government, the governor urged the police to hunt down the criminals and ensure they face the consequences.
What I would want to ask the people of Machakos, you see, I am sure there are some thugs that were brought to come and destroy some properties in Machakos County. I've kept quiet, I've not spoken about it. Machakos people are not stupid to spoil their own properties. And I'm asking the police, how walikuja kuingililia wale vijana wetu walikuwa na demonstrate peacefully, wakaharibu mali ya Machakos, let them be dealt with. Because at the end of the day, if we spoil what is ours, now I am going to spend a lot of money trying to repair what was damaged instead of doing new development. But I want to thank our people. They did not allow them to get far. They did not get that far. So what I'm requesting our youth, you want to demonstrate, we don't have a problem. But let us not destroy our property. And if you see these other goons that are coming out, to point them out.
All right, that is the governor for Machakos on matters Anti-Finance Bill 2024 protest. Now, what does the church has to say? The Church and the Clergy Association of Kenya has called on the youth to desist from attacking the church and from holding demonstrations in order to give dialogue a chance with President William Ruto. This is according to the chairperson, Hudson Denda, who holds the same sentiments as President William Ruto. The church is of the opinion that demonstrations and distractions in last week's protest were caused by goons. The church has also called on President William Ruto that despite conceding to the people's demands, he should exercise restraint by directing the Kenya Defence Forces and the National Police Service to stop the usage of force, tear gas and live bullets.
The church is concerned that the current demonstrations may have been infiltrated by the goons and persons with ill intent, going by the destruction and the looting of property witnessed. In order to avert any further losses to the many hardworking men and women, we urge you to cease any further protests in the best interest of our country. We also urge the youths to relent from unnecessarily attacking the church. The church is a friend to all, especially the young people of this nation. The church is a place of refuge and solace, where everyone runs to and are safe. We therefore request you to safeguard places of worship as sacred and holy. Further, we also urge the youth to refrain from attacking the judiciary, as this remains the lifeline of any democracy. We request you to refrain from undermining the judges and magistrates that have been placed to adjudicate over affairs of this nation.
There you have it, the voice of the church. Now let us shift gears. More than 500 widows from Bahati sub-county have called on the government to prioritize formulating policies that protect widows. Speaking to TV47 during their meeting in Kabazi, Nakuru County, the widows revealed that they face a lot of challenges in accessing their fair share, as Chichi Josephine now tells us.
In a meeting held in Nakuru, bringing together widows from different parts of Nakuru County, the leadership of the widow support groups urged the government to work on formulating policies that will protect widows and enable them to get their fair share of inheritance.
Tunaomba sana tuangaliwe na kama kweli kuna vile tunaweza kuwa protected na kama vile kuna mswada unaweza pitishwa ili ukaweze kulinda mali ya mjane punde tu wakati mume wake amekufa, ili mali yake ikuwe safeguarded, itakuwa mzuri sana.
At the same time, they have asked the state to help them access justice, as well as set up a fund to support all widows across the 47 counties to empower them economically.
The government of Kenya haijafanya allocation ya mwanamke mjane. Kile wamefanya, wanaamini mwanamke mjane ako included kwa the larger women. Lakini wacheni niwaambie na niambie serikali ya nchi ya Kenya leo. Mugao wa wajane unastahili, kwa sababu wale watu wanapigana na wajane ni hao wamama. Kwa hivyo mjane hawezi ingia kwa kikundi cha wamama. Akiingia wanasemanga hana pesa, atalipiwa na nani? Na pia wanamuogopa ni mwizi wa mzee.
The women noted that some widows do not know their rights, leading to many inheritance cases being thrown out, as many tend to give in to pressure due to stigma.
Wakati mume wake anakufa, siku hiyo tu the in-laws wanaanzanga kuchukua mali yao. Wanachukua kitambulisho, wanachukua manguo za mzee, kama alikuwa na property wanachukua. Nakumbuka wakati huo ni wakati mjane analia. Kwa hivyo wale wengi hawananga death certificate, na ninashukuru Mungu kwa sababu tumepartner with the legal aid na tumewezesha wajane wengi sana tangu miaka 7 imepita kupewa death certificate.
It has been noted that many Kenyan women face challenges like retrogressive cultural practices and largely patriarchal society that seems oblivious to their suffering.
Nimepitia dhuluma mingi sana. Hata msichana wangu akafanya harusi akiwa na 26 years. Wengine wakaenda paka kwa bishop. Wakamwambia, unakubali huyu kijana ni mgeni na awe nyumba ya ukimwi. Lakini walijua sina ukimwi. Ninashukuru wahubiri wangu juu ya kusimama na mimi na kunitia moyo.
Chichi, Josephine, TV47.
Thank you, Chichi, for highlighting the plight of the widows in Nakuru County. Now, to Kirinyaga County, whereby residents of Kyorothira area were left in shock after discovering the carcass of a stolen cow slaughtered by the roadside after it was stolen at night. Residents of the area condemned the act and complained about the increasing theft incidents in the area. The owner of the cow mentioned the significant loss of losing his dairy cow, losing her dairy cow, which she said was a source of income for her, urging the authorities to conduct investigations, arrest and prosecute the suspects.
Na ng'ombe hiyo ni ya kukamua na nilikamua lita 12 kwa mchana.
Ndio wenye walikuwa naimba, walikuwa na gari, walikuwa na ICG hapa, ndio waweke kwa probox waende na hiyo ng'ombe. Lakini wakapatikana, kwa bahati mbaya wakatoroka. Tukijaribu kuwafuata hatukuwaona, wakaenda kabisa.
Kwa sababu mamangu ni mgonjwa, dawa anatakikana, mzee mguu umevujika, bado ni ng'ombe itamshughulikia. Sasa tukikaa hapa tutajua tutafanya nini.
Hii vijana wadogo wako na nguvu, wanaweza jifanyia kazi, wanafaa wafuatwe na sheria.
Religious and political leaders from Moige constituency in Kirinyaga County are calling for all education stakeholders to join hands in saving and mentoring the boy child. They say that a lot of efforts have been put to boost the girl child while the boy child are falling off.
Kulikuwa zamani ati kuekelea masomo ya msichana ya mtoto wa kike maanani zaidi. Hiyo kitu imeingia sana. And I realize that kama wakati jana nilienda graduation, naona katika 1 out of 10 ndiye alikuwa kijana, wengine ni wasichana. Nikiangalia these are replica in all universities. Na mimi ningesema the boy child is underage. Na ningeomba kabisa vijana wanaume wavute socks vizuri, waweze kusoma. Tusiwachilie uongozi, masomo ndio uongozi. Wacha vijana waende shule. We need equal opportunity, both the girl and the boy.
And the problem of boy child is lack of mentors. We are lacking people to mentor our boys. We are lacking people to teach our boys the tradition that used to be there before. In the olden days, boys were taught in a place called Dome, and where boys were gathered and then they were given a lot of education. But today, boys are just neglected. They are just left alone. We have nobody to teach them anything. The morals are not there. The ethics is gone. And actually many things that our boys are like blank. They don't know what they are supposed to do.
Now, from education to matters health. With less than 48 hours left before Kenyans begin registration into the Social Health Authority that is set to replace the National Health Insurance Fund, our health and science reporter Elizabeth Atieno reminds us of the history of NHIF, whose end is in the offing.
The journey of NHIF began in the 1920s when Kenya was a British protectorate. The Europeans and Asians had their health insurance cover, that is, the European Hospital and Treatment Relief Fund and the Asian and Arab Fund Authority, which helped the contributors obtain treatment from the more expensive and exclusive hospital. while the natives could only access the ill-equipped and overcrowded government hospitals. In June 1963, the then Attorney General Honorable Sir Charles Njonjo wrote to the new native administration about the idea of having a national health scheme that would bring equality among Europeans, Asians and Africans. Sir Njonjo's dream was later realized in June 1966 when an interim National Hospital Insurance Fund (NHIF) scheme committee delivered the NHIF Act, marking the start of NHIF, a state parastatal established as a department under the Ministry of Health. The 1966 Act of Parliament has over the years been reviewed to accommodate the changing healthcare needs of the Kenyan population, employment and restructuring in the health sector. Currently, an NHIF Act No. 9 of 1998 governs the fund. The NHIF membership is open to all Kenyans who have attained the age of 18. Currently, there are 17 million Kenyans dependent on NHIF and approximately 22.8 million beneficiaries.
Health insurance coverage remains low at 25% and lowest among the low-income group at less than 5%. The out-of-pocket payments by households for health standards at 150 billion shillings annually.
UHC Supercover is Kenya's largest reliable, accessible and affordable medical insurance cover and costs 500 Kenya shillings per month for the principal members and beneficiaries. National Health Scheme members can access various benefit packages under the UHC Supercover. The packages include inpatient, outpatient, maternity, renal dialysis, oncology, radiology, overseas treatment, and emergency care services. However, the National Health Insurance Fund has had its fair share of challenges, the latest being the 20 billion Kenya shilling graft scandal, where approved fraudulent claims were granted to 78 health facilities.
Afanya mabadiliko kwenye National Hospital Insurance Fund kwa sababu pale sitaki kusema sana, kuna changamoto kubwa.
Just assure members of the public that any resources that were stolen from or through NHIF will be pursued until they are brought back or the people who are involved are brought to book.
In light of the millions of public funds lost through fictitious claims, the Ministry of Health proposed a paradigm shift in the provision of social health insurance through the Social Health Insurance Act of 2023 that has repealed the National Health Insurance Fund Act No. 9 of 1998.
Working on a report and what they have seen, what they have touched as an asset of NHIF has been tagged and that has been put into the report for handing over to Social Health Authority.
There is going to be a vetting process to ensure that only those officers who are clean, who are not corrupt, who have not been found in any corrupt practices are the ones who are going to employ in the new Social Health Authority.
This is the history of the 58-year journey of NHIF that will soon come to an end as the Ministry of Health is set to commence the registration of Kenyans into the Social Health Authority from the 1st of July 2024. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Liz, for that report. Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has urged leaders to seek forgiveness from the citizens they lead. The Deputy President was in Bomet County, where not a single member of parliament from the county joined him for a service in Sotik constituency. Kisawa Emory with the details.
The Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has urged Kenya's politicians to return to the people, since it is them who voted them into leadership positions, and therefore their demands must be addressed. Speaking in Kaplong, Bomet County after a service, Rigathi Gachagua asked the leaders who failed the citizens regarding the highly heated debate on the finance bill to return and apologize to the people, stating that this is the only way to restore the
Msitokee wananchi. Hata kama mlipeleza kidogo mkuja muone msamaha kwa wananchi. Sio namna hiyo. Si wakija mtawasikiza. Wakuje kwa raia. Hatuwezi kuendelea kwa raia kwa sababu kuteleza sio kuanguka. Ndio. Lakini sisi tumeamua kama serikali ya kwamba ile yote tunafanya lazima tusikize nyinyi.
Additionally, he praised the president's initiative to give the youth a platform to express themselves, saying that the youth possess unique skills that will help build the country.
Sasa tumesikiza ground, tumekubali tufanye vile mnataka kwa sababu nyinyi ndio mnataka. Si rais alisema tufanye vile mnataka. So mimi nataka nimpongeze Rais William Ruto kwa sababu alisikiza pia ground.
On another note, Gachagua assured the citizens that the current issue being witnessed would be resolved by the administration as soon as possible.
Kwa sababu hivi vijana wanaelewa mambo mingi na mambo yao itatusaidia sisi wazee kidogo. So tusikize vijana, tusikize wazee, tuunganishe pamoja, Kenya yetu itakaa sawa sawa. Na mimi ningetaka kuambia watu wa Jamhuri ya Kenya wasikuwe na wasiwasi. Hii Kenya yetu itakuwa na amani.
These events come after the youth in the area expressed their disappointment earlier after being barred from attending the service, stating that their intention was to welcome the deputy president to Bomet County.
And I want to ask our young people